Hey guys, it's Michael again. Some of you may notice that I procrastinate a little bit on these discussion boards, but always get them done. Um, so, as I said in my intro, for my undergrad, I lived in the college and where I lived was in one of the poorest counties in Ohio. So, when it comes to um, stigmas around these rural areas and these residents, I can definitely relate because I heard a lot of different things when it came to Athens, Ohio. I look back on it now, and we used to call the people that lived in Athens townies. So that is labeling them instead of, just getting to know them. We'd always just think they're the crazy townies. So I think it is really important that people realize these different stigmas that are related to rural areas and how we can get rid of those. So I definitely think, just from personal experience with hearing people's opinions about these type of counties or these areas, is that a lot of people think that they're dirty. Um, you stereotypically picture um, trailer homes and the yards are just really messy and stuff like that. And I mean, that's a bad thing, but that's what a lot of people think of when they think of rural areas. And so people also see them as being really poor, which normally they are because of the lack of jobs and the lack of resources, but that's definitely another stigma. It sounded like some of the people viewed themselves in the video as not being able to go anywhere because of these lack of resources and lack of jobs. And I definitely saw that, like, they were struggling. That was a huge stigma, was the struggle of day-to-day living and living paycheck to paycheck. And um, it's also a big stigma that rural areas have a lot of government assistance, because usually people that live in the rural areas have more children too. A lot of them, I picture like maybe like farming. So a lot of the kids working from a young age too, but that also goes along with stigma. So a lot of kids equal more government assistance. And then also it sounded like from the video that they saw themselves as not having an educate, or they didn't, school wasn't a priority for them. Like they weren't going to go to college because, like I said, they didn't see themselves going anywhere. So, I mean, a lot of those are really horrible stigmas, and they're not all true. Or, like, they are, like I said, they're just stigmas. They're not, um, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. They're not reality for a lot of people. Like the first lady in the video, she started off very poor, but then she became very wealthy, and then she decided to give back. So, it's good to see that there are hopeful stories that come out of these. And so, for the second question, like, what are the strengths that can be gleaned from rural area living? I try to think kind of creative on these, and obviously, the biggest one is their determination that comes out of these challenging living situations. They have multiple jobs and they're taking care of their big families and things like that. So, I guess for counselors, just getting that out there, that these individuals are determined and they are really hardworking, and they work really hard for very little pay. And I think that's a big thing too. Everyone thinks that these individuals aren't out there working, or they aren't looking for jobs, or they're lazy, but in reality, um, they're working really hard for so much less than everyone else makes. And then I also thought that these individuals living in rural areas can be creative and savvy because, they aren't able to have everything that they want, but they get everything that they need. Um, so just seeing the strengths of these individuals is really important in how they live their day-to-day lives on such little resources is very savvy compared to us when we kind of have everything we need and want. And then another one is that a huge strength is adaptability. And I think they mentioned that in the video too, where people living in these rural areas have to be very adaptive to their situations, whether they get a new job or they get a second job or they lose their job. Those are big, they're all big strengths. And I think that, you know, we all need to see the strengths instead of the weaknesses so that we can help those individuals better themselves and better their communities, because it all starts um, with the individual, but then also, you know, you need the community to thrive too so that there's more jobs and things that come into play. So hopefully that answers the questions for this week. Looking forward to seeing everybody tomorrow at the boot camp. I hope you guys have a good night.